Walking through the American Bottom, the humidity here is brutal. Somewhere ahead is the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico.
The natural terrain surrounding the basin is incredibly dense. They've systematically cleared parts of this thicket for paths. Look at this, fields of maize as far as the eye can see. This intensive, massive-scale agriculture made a true metropolis possible. This rich alluvial soil is continuously replenished by the Mississippi floods. It's perfect, high-yield dirt.
We're seeing the first outlying mounds. These aren't random hills, they are completely hand-built local administrative posts.
Even miles out from the central core, access is carefully observed and managed by local authorities.
Before the city walls, you hit these sprawling suburban neighborhoods. The sheer population density out here is incredible. These are peripheral food stores, tucked safely inside the suburban clusters to feed the farming families. This is the Grand Palisade, a massive wooden fortress wall encircling the ceremonial core. Over 20,000 logs were used here.
Look at these projecting bastions. They provide perfect flanking angles for archers to defend the wall from any direct assault.
The gates are built in an intentional L shape. You can't see directly inside, making it incredibly easy to defend.
Trapped in this tight turn, any attacking force would be entirely vulnerable to attacks from above.
Wow, stepping through, the entire city opens up. Look at the size of Monk's Mound in the distance. It's absolutely monumental. This city isn't random chaos. It's laid out on a highly sophisticated, planned grid system aligned to the cardinal points.
This enormous crater is a borrow pit. They dug up millions of tons of earth here entirely by hand to build the mounds.
They are hacking through dense, pure structural clay. It takes immense physical effort to slice this out without metal tools. The human cost is visible right here. These basket carriers move continuously, using tump lines wrapped across their foreheads. A single load easily weighs 50 to 60 pounds. Thousands of these loads are carried up the mounds every single day. This is a flint knapping station. They import Mill Creek chert from miles away to mass produce vital farming hose.
Watch the precision strike. He hits the exact angle to peel off a sharp blade blank with a single blow.
Manufacturing stone celts. It takes hours of continuous abrasive grinding against sandstone to sharpen these heavy wood-cutting axe heads. That edge is incredibly sharp, almost glass smooth. This is what clears the vast forests around the Capitol Basin. The timber demand here is relentless. Deforestation around the city is clearly becoming a severe environmental issue. Stripping the bark prevents immediate rot. Every single log used in the palisade goes through this manual prep.
This is big blue stem grass. It's highly resilient, water repellent, and serves as the primary material for every thatch roof in town.
The logistics here are astonishing. Raw materials are harvested, standardized into bales, and systematically distributed. This is a white clay slip pit. They mix specialized local kaolin clay with water to create a weatherproofing paint.
It's for high-status homes.
This is daub, the structural concrete of the ancient world. Mixing mud with straw and hair keeps it from cracking when dry.
Moving into an elite residential zone. The structures here are much larger, neatly aligned, and finished with painted white slips.
The red paint is pure ochre. These repeating step designs are status symbols representing the cosmic order of the upper world. The smell inside is incredible. They are cooking a staple meal, a thick hominy stew mixed with venison over coals. See those white specks? That's crushed mussel shell. It acts as a temper, preventing the pot from cracking over high cooking heat. These elevated structures are the grain granaries. Keeping the corn elevated away from moisture and mice is a survival necessity. The joinery is simple but incredibly sturdy. No nails, everything is interlocked and bound tight with tough cordage. This is how currency and high-status jewelry are made. They use these wooden pump drills to core out marine shell beads. Once drilled, they string the rough blanks and rub them along sandstone blocks to grind them into perfect uniform spheres.
They don't use wool or cotton. Instead, they harness highly advanced twining techniques with tough processed inner bark fibers.
The colors are completely organic. Sumac berries provide the intense reds, while charred walnut husks yield the deep blacks.
Tanning hides is a brutal, intensely smelly process. They use wood smoke and cooked animal brains to fully cure the leather.
Smoking the hides triggers a chemical bond that ensures the leather stays soft and pliable even after getting completely soaked. The capital is divided into distinct neighborhood zones, each oriented around a small community plaza like this. This game isn't just for fun. It's early training to hone hand-eye coordination for hunting and future warfare. How do you manage sanitation in the 11th century? They dig deep trenches, dumping trash and buffering it with charcoal. Look at these clean strata lines. The charcoal layers act as a natural deodorizer and disinfectant to suppress disease. Every drop of fresh water has to be manually hauled up from Cahokia Creek in these massive earthenware jars. They balance immense weight using these woven pads. Their posture and core neck strength are absolutely phenomenal. Dogs are the only domesticated animals here. They serve as hunting aid, alarm systems, and sometimes emergency food. The dogs roam freely through the streets. They play a vital secondary role by cleaning up organic food waste scraps.
Salt is an absolute luxury commodity here, brought up from mineral springs further down south.
The buyer is checking for mineral purity. High salt concentration is crucial for preserving meat over winter. Deep botanical knowledge. This healer is processing willow bark, which contains natural salicin, essentially aspirin.
Drying these roots preserves their medicinal properties for months. Each bundle tackles a specific internal ailment.
They use these highly efficient willow maze traps in the Oxbow Lakes to secure massive amounts of river protein.
Oh wow, look at them all jumping! Clamshells make perfect knives for processing fish. The edge cuts through tough hide with zero trouble.
This natural riverbank clay contains a high iron content, giving their everyday pottery its deep orange tone when fired. Kneading in the shell temper. If they skip this thorough mixing process, air pockets will cause the pot to blow up in the kiln.
Entering the Grand Plaza. 40 acres of hand-leveled yellow clay. The engineering scale here is completely unprecedented. This is thousands of tons of hauled sand and kaolin clay, intentionally packed down to create an eternal ritual floor. There are the twin mounds. The flat one holds the charnel house, while the conical mound right next to it is the final tomb. The charnel house door. Priests inside process the remains of the lineage elites before final burial in the conical earthworks. Check out that feather cloak. Iridescent duck and turkey feathers. Your dress here dictates your standing in the cosmos.
Those are copper ear spools. The metal is incredibly rare, signaling supreme political and divine connection.
Tattoos are military badges of honor. This swirling falcon motif links the warrior directly to the aggressive upper world deities.
The ink is charred bone dust bound with bear fat. It locks permanently under the dermis layer with zero fading.
They don't melt or cast metal. They use a meticulous method of cold hammering and heating to create these paper-thin copper sheets. He's using an antler punch to emboss lines from the reverse side. The artisan control required here is absolutely incredible.
Consuming the black drink brewed from Yaupon holly. It's an extreme caffeine purge used before crucial political councils. This cup is cut from a marine lightning whelk shell. The incised design depicts the cosmic underworld horned water serpent.
Look at this layered earthworks cross-section. Red clay represents the underworld, while the yellow signifies the sky forces. They ram each clay layer continuously. This compression technique prevents the massive earthworks from slumping during rainstorms.
Climbing the grand staircase of Monk's Mound. Over 100 steps. The effort reinforces the supreme authority of the rulers.
These vertical stakes keep the entire staircase system from washing away under the immense weight of thousands of daily steps.
Only on the first terrace, and the scale is dizzying. The spatial engineering is designed to make the individual feel completely tiny.
This intermediate temple serves as a screening checkpoint before anyone is allowed access to the upper summit levels. Reaching the summit gates. The elite guards wear striking falcon masks, acting as cosmic avian controllers of access.
That club holds a flawless black chert blade. One strike would crack open a skull effortlessly. It's an emblem of lethal state power.
This is the true summit terrace. The great palace before us rises 40 feet high. This is the residence of the supreme paramount chief.
The interior feels like a giant cathedral. These primary support pillars are massive entire tree trunks hauled up the mound.
These copper-eyed shell masks represent the ancestors. They are the supreme ritual palladia, validating the chief's absolute divine right. This is the tribute vault. Thousands of baskets of maize are brought directly to the chief as a structural imperial tax.
From this exact porch, the great sun looks down upon his world. It's an absolute masterclass in architectural surveillance and control. Look at that straight red causeway line below. It connects the central mound directly to the eastern mortuary complexes along a solar line.
Watch rotation at the chief's palace. Every single movement up here is highly regimented and formal. Back on the plaza floor and the crowd is roaring. The massive chunky game is starting. The gambling here is absolutely intense. There goes the stone wheel. It's a flawless discoidal wheel. The skill to carve this so it stays upright is incredible. They launch the spears. You win by landing your point closest to where the wheel stops. It's pure spatial calculation. Scarlet macaw feathers. These traveled up huge trade networks all the way from Mexico. The luxury value here is insane. An alligator tooth from the Gulf Coast. Items from thousands of miles away pool here, proving Cahokia is a massive continental hub. This is the signature Mound Place incised pottery style. The burnished clay surface has an almost metallic black finish. This effigy pot depicts a wood duck. The craftsmanship shows an absolute reverence for local river marsh wildlife.
Carving a platform pipe from red Minnesota catlinite stone. The tobacco smoke carries prayers directly into the spirit realm.
Buffing the catlinite. The wet sand polish makes the red stone gleam brilliantly under direct sunlight.
Leaving the dense market core now, heading out to the western perimeter. The heavy wood smoke air is starting to clear out up here. They farm sunflowers alongside the maize. The seeds provide a vital source of rich plant oils and fats for their diet. Ahead is Woodhenge, a monumental solar calendar. This perfect circle of massive red cedar poles tracks time with extreme precision.
48 massive cedar posts form this iteration. The geometric spacing between each pole is absolutely dead on.
Standing at the central post axis, looking straight out, this pole aligns perfectly with the distant staircase of Monk's Mound.
They purposefully select red cedar. The wood is naturally rot resistant, and its red interior directly links to the color of lifeblood.
These deep notches are scientific tracking marks, used to calibrate the calendar over decades of celestial observation.
Look at that shadow edge. It falls precisely along the pre-drawn line.
This indicates the exact astronomical timeline calculation.
Dancers are entering the circle as the sun dips. The white skeletal body paint represents the ancestor spirits of the underworld.
The rattles are box turtle shells. The river stones inside create a sharp, high-frequency sound that cuts through the wind.
They ignite the ritual hearth using friction. Everything must be pure, a fresh fire born explicitly for the sunset transition.
Watch the fiber flare. Shredded cedar bark acts as the perfect explosive tinder to feed the central hearth. The alignment is absolutely flawless. The sun slips right between the designated markers. They literally lock the sky into the earth.
That conch horn blast signals the formal death of the day star. The sound carries for miles across the entire bottom valley.
The dance begins. The motion is slow and heavy. Every unified stomp communicates directly with the deep earth deities below. Cahokia faded long before Europeans arrived. But these massive hand-built earthen mountains